Hello, everybody. This is Ryan with DTI. Welcome to our webcast today. We'll give just a couple of minutes while people sign in. We see more people coming in, so we'll wait. We're right at the 2 o'clock hour. So we'll begin in just a moment. Good afternoon, everybody. All right. Looks like I've been speaking to myself for the last couple of minutes, so I apologize on that I haven't been broadcasting. Technical difficulties. All right. Back to the program. Let's regroup. So today, thank you again. Sorry for the late start. We're going to cover a few things today. VCM Status and Outlook. So where's the product today? What's happening with Viewpoint? Second, we know one of the broad topics of conversation for everybody is what's next and where are we going from here? So we'll cover some options on that. And then lastly, next steps. As we get through this material, I'm sure there will be some questions and we can help you through what those next steps in your search might be. So first question, our first slide here, current product status, where do things sit? Viewpoint has ceased development of the VCM platform, meaning they're not building anymore. Customers are kind of frozen in time with what they've got in place and where they are. It means that also that users are not able to upgrade to the current version of Application Extender and take advantage of any of the product features available there. How is DTI involved? DTI, for those of you that don't know, was approached by Viewpoint a couple of years ago to help provide support for the VCM, some set of the VCM customers as they shifted their focus. And we had an agreement in place that has since expired, but DTI is continuing to support clients that are out there until their renewal date. Hopefully at the time of your renewal, you'll have had an opportunity to work with us and find that we provide great value to and choose to renew with DTI. Because the question that we get, what are your support options? There's really two. There's Viewpoint and there is DTI. So we've worked really hard to try to provide great support and attention to you, and I think we've been pretty successful in that. We're getting some great feedback from a lot of the people that are here on the phone. So we've enjoyed doing it, and it's a big part of where we're going as an organization. And so hopefully, if you haven't renewed yet with DTI, my email address is there. You can reach out. I'll provide my phone number as well, and look forward to having some conversations. So some of the questions over this last year, we've worked with a lot of you, and we get your feedback, and there's certainly a lot of questions that come in related to the VCM product and where Viewpoint is going. Viewpoint was acquired by Trimble, so there's another acquisition that's gone on there. And so questions, how long do we have before you have to move? What's Viewpoint's vision? What are other companies doing about their VCM product, and where's that going? So the short answer to how long, the end of support for Invoice Router by Viewpoint is January 2020. That's what we're currently being told. That doesn't mean that January it shuts off and ceases to operate. It should still function fine. It's just if something happens, Viewpoint's not going to take any support calls. Their vision for where they're taking the product is to have you all move to Vista. So that is where they're going to put their development of any content management platforms. And what are other companies doing? Well, there's a few options out there that are popular in the construction space. We're going to review some of them here in just a second. And so hang tight for that. And then we also hear, are there any options that allow us to stay kind of where we are? And so the short answer is yes. I've got something to tell you here today that I think you'll be excited about. Before we get to that, some of the other things that we've been hearing from people as we engage is that some of you have done more with VCM than others. A lot of people have stayed in the accounting role and functions with Invoice Router. Some of you have expanded beyond that. So as we talk to you, we're trying to learn more about the construction industry and what people are facing and what are some of the common problems that they're trying to address in their organizations. A lot of people are talking about mobile these days. So how do you connect field operations with the back office? how do you provide support to the information and work needs of those superintendents, project managers, people in remote offices, and mobile comes up in those conversations. From the IT side, we hear a lot of people suffering from the app for that syndrome, and that simply means that one of the IT directors that we spoke with, he said his biggest nemesis is a manager with a credit card. And the challenge that he was having was he would see application support requests come in for applications that he didn't know his organization had. So people are trying to self-serve on some of these things, but then come back to IT to support, which what that does ends up creating more silos of information throughout the organization, making it more difficult, not easier, to find information and get things done. Again, which we call IT sprawl. Information everywhere. You've got it in your ERP, your project management, accounting platforms, and Box and Dropbox, and stuff is just everywhere. So how can we control this exploding volume of information? On top of that, there's still, construction has always been a little bit behind the times when it comes to technology when compared to other industries. Every construction trade show, whether it be CFMA or some of the others, this is always a topic that gets brought up. Construction generally doesn't invest a large percentage of their revenues in IT to remove some of these manual processes. But that digital transformation wave is coming, and if you haven't heard about it yet in construction, you soon will. But there are lots of these manual processes that people are looking to figure out how to address now. And then, of course, compliance and audit requirements. Compliance with either site inspections, equipment inspections, or maybe compliance on HR. And do we have all the required documentation for our workforce? Other audit requirements from financial and project audits. How do we get a hold of all of this information? So those are just some of the things that we hope we'll be able to address as we go forward in this construction industry. Now, some of you have started that search for a replacement for VCM and have asked us what do you need to think about, what kind of things should be in consideration. So we wanted to touch a little bit on that here on this slide. First and foremost, you're on a platform right now that has been pretty stable. It's been around for a long time, so there are no bugs in the software. Things work, they're predictable. If something does go wrong, it's usually a pretty quick fix to get it back. So recommendation for you is look for something that's going to be that dependable, stable product that you've come to know. When you look at migrations, another important component to consider is that these aren't necessarily small projects to take on. There are certainly cost and budget constraints, but when you're implementing a new platform such as this, you're going to have significant change to deal with. So that change management aspect and interruption in your current operations is going to be there. Next, if you're moving to a completely different platform, be very careful about and very thoughtful about how you are going to move your current information and documents out of your current platform. We were contacted by a consultant that was helping somebody move things from Invoice Router, and they ended up losing some information. And they lost some documents and lost some of the data associated with it. So that is a risk that you'll need to contend with. And as we said, budget, always a concern and a constraint in the construction space for any industry, actually. But we know you guys are budget conscious, so we need to looking for solutions that fit within a reasonable budget for you. Some of the other topics that you're going to have conversations about with whatever provider that you choose to go with are kind of listed here. And we just wanted to mention that if you're going through and replacing your product, something that's been in place for 10 years, it's probably a great time for you to look left and right down the hallway, talk to another department, see what some of their needs are, because you might be able to incorporate some additional benefits in the solution that you choose over what you've done today. So if you're making a move, make a good move. Use that opportunity to share the productivity gains with others. So We really see three different paths for companies right now that are using VCM. One, you can migrate to lateral replacement products. So this would be some of our competitors, some of our products. We'll get to those on the next slide, but you're going to move to something that provides a similar functionality of what you have in Invoice Router. And that's one way to go. Some of you have grown significantly in your capabilities and size and requirements, and so you may be looking to do more than what VCM has done for you in the past. And for that, there are other products that bring new features and functionality to the table. They kind of fit in that enterprise content services bucket. Again, we'll talk about that in a minute. But thirdly, there's, maybe there's something out there that will allow you to use your existing platform, but expand the feature set and be a really cost competitive option. So taking a look at those in a little bit more depth, if we're looking at some lateral replacement products. For DTI, a lateral replacement product for VCM is a product called FileBound. It's an easy to deploy web-based solution that offers workflow, e-forms, mobile capability, on-premise or cloud. When we've compared what a FileBound implementation against a current VCM implementation might look like, we're seeing that price range falls in the $30,000 to $50,000 range. You see the blue asterisk by FileBound, that just means that's something that DTI provides. The other two companies on this screen, Paperless Environments and TimberScan, the information under these bullet points, I don't know personally about, but these are what we have been told by you guys, by some of your counterparts. People that are going through this process already have shared this. So we're looking at the 30 to 50K as an average for kind of a mid-sized VCM user, and you'll want to get more in depth with that if you explore these. But paperless environments, we're seeing, obviously, if you're a Timberline or Sage user, they've got a nice integration there. We're hearing that the content management features are not as strong in paperless as they are even in Application Extender or some of the other products on the market. But they do a pretty good job in being able to provide these features to other places in the organization. TimberScan, similar to paperless, has got a great integration with Sage. Is mainly an accounts payable automation solution, and doesn't seem that people are using it in other departments. And it is well integrated to Sage, but it is kind of limiting in scope and where it can be used. And mainly, so that's just an AT. For full enterprise class, we're having some of these conversations now with some of you. OnBase is the DTI enterprise content management platform. It is in the Gartner Magic Quadrant in the leader category. Workflow, mobile solutions, case management, all kinds of things kind of expand out. So if you're finding that you're talking about a lot of different types of solutions, creating that single platform across the enterprise that's integrated and does a lot of things, this is kind of the category that you're working in. OnBase is aware of what we're doing with the VCM crowd, and we have worked some special pricing and incentives. So if you have looked at OnBase before or are interested in OnBase, we've got some things we can talk about there. FileNet is another that's kind of in that enterprise class. It's a large product, certainly more expensive, more involved when it comes to integration and professional services, but you're also asking the product to do a lot more than you would some of the mid-tier products. And then finally, SharePoint is out there as well. We see a lot of SharePoint, and people are trying to use SharePoint as an enterprise platform, but it really requires the support of other Microsoft products. Microsoft Flow, I think, is one of them that does some workflow, and a few other things. While the price point may seem great with Microsoft, meaning that it's probably included in your Microsoft license, where we see some of the complaints about SharePoint is that it becomes kind of an administrative nightmare. Nightmare might be a strong word, but it requires a lot on the administrative side. If not careful and don't control how it's deployed, you can end up with a lot of SharePoint sites out there which still have duplicate data, the images, kind of in that same same environment. So those are a few that we see out there on the full replacement product. Now, thirdly, this is something that we're going to start talking about here, where what if we had a product, you've got application extender in place, which is a great product, been around for years, is getting renewed R&D from its new owner in OpenText. And so we've got something here that will replace the invoice router, offers workflows that can go beyond accounts payable, and it can take you on into the future and without having to migrate any of your content. We're using that same AX repository. So now here's the Compass by DTI. This is something that we are super excited about, and it is something new for us. And we started talking to a lot of you about what it is that you have. And a lot of the feedback that we got was, gosh, you know, what I have just works and it's great, and I really have other things I'd rather do than worry about migrating to a whole new content management platform. So we know you have to do something. You like a lot about what it is that you have. It's not an option to go unsupported. So DTI is coming up with Compass. So what is Compass? Well, Compass is a workflow product and tool set that sits on top of Application Extender that replaces the VCM functionality on a more modern platform, removes the risk from any migration, but is going to carry you into the future, allowing you to do more and more of the things that you've always wanted to do with content management. It's going to allow you to address the current problems that we talked about earlier that you guys are talking about. So you've got the ability to go mobile. You've got the ability to add workflow into other areas. You've got the ability to tie into other information systems such as project management and ERP systems. Along with Compass, we are including a dashboard utility that is going to not only connect to all of the data that's housed within Application Extender, but also allow you to tap into other products like your ERP, accounting packages, and project management. So there's a lot that's going to be coming out about this product and what its features and functionality are going to be. And DTI as a company, this is a core focus for where we're going. We've enjoyed the last 2 years in working in this industry, and we enjoyed the success of providing support to a lot of you. That's allowing us to spend time and R&D into continuing to develop solutions for construction. We're hearing a lot of requests for electronic forms, and we're hearing requests for integrations between systems, and we've been able to deliver on this. So as we're coming into this, to the fall of this year, we're going to be sharing a lot more information about Compass and what it is. But we are super excited about the opportunities ahead and what this provides you in allowing you to stay in a comfort zone that fits for most of you while we evaluate the future needs. So that's kind of where we are right now. I'd like to open it up if there are any questions out there. Somebody look at the chat box on the right side of your screen. Should be a place there for entering questions. I'll give just a minute to come in. I know one of the questions that's common out there is this integrated into to Sage, or is this integrated into my ERP? So the short answer on integration is yes, there is integration there. We're using a similar integration strategy as what you've got in VCM, and as the product continues and develops, we'll be enhancing some of those features as well. Okay, question about pricing. How are things priced? Well, pricing certainly is something that we're going to need to get into. The first step is to look at your current environment and figure out how you're using what you're using today. We do have some flexibility in how that's going to be priced and positioned, and so we'll be able to address that pretty quickly. Any other questions? All right, so let's end with a what's next. Thank you all very much for your time today. I know a lot of the information is not new, but hopefully we've shared some information and some thoughts from this crowd. And so here's kind of where we see next steps. If you're not sure exactly where you are in this cycle and you need to learn some more, we want to have some conversations, schedule some time with us. We'll be glad to take a look at what you're doing today, how you're using it, what some of your organization needs are. You can connect with us and use us as a sounding board. We're here. If you haven't renewed your support with DTI, now might be a great time. Renewing support with DTI, we've got a lot of flexibility in what we can do for you if you felt this is an option you'd like to consider. And we'd love to stay in touch with you. For others of you that know that you're ready to get started on moving towards your replacement, we've begun those conversations with a handful of companies. So again, connect with us. Let us know where you stand in that process, and we'll meet you where you are. And we are here to help, and we'll look forward to continuing our work with you. So with that, I think we're done for the day. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I really appreciate everyone being here. Again, my email is rwhite@dtiids.com. We'll be following up with you soon. If you've got any other questions that come to mind, just reach out and let us know. Thank you all very much. Have a great rest of your day.